Hello and welcome back to Carnivorr Goes for Gold. I'm Kaitlin or Carnivorr, and this is the last restaurant review of the 101 restaurants. I can't believe it. Beaming. So excited. We did it. We finished it. I actually went to all of Jonathan's 101 best LA restaurants in 101 days. Insane. This was insane. So number one, I went to Vespertine. Chef Jordan Kahn. Oh my gosh. So this restaurant is a bit controversial. I felt it was so important that it needed its own episode because I have so many things to say about it being the number one restaurant in LA. So some people have really disliked it. Some people, Jonathan, have really liked it, given it the number one spot on our list this year. So I did not know what to expect going into it. It's very mysterious. You don't hear a lot about it. It's pretty different. The website is crazy. You look at it and it's pretty much like a black hole. Really not too many pictures. Their Instagram is dark, mysterious. I didn't even know what to think. I got to meet Chef Jordan at the Gold List reveal party this year, and I was a little bit intimidated, a little bit nervous to meet him. He was wearing his signature black trench coat. He has long black hair. He looks like a super cool dude. So I was a little nervous. I didn't know if I was cool enough to talk to him. He was the nicest guy, just so warm and friendly. Not at all what I expected. Just given his outfit and demeanor, I was just nervous, but he was so awesome and so excited, and I was congratulating him as he just found out that he won #1 best restaurant in LA. And he was just so gracious, so humble, and was like, wow, we didn't even know if we'd make it on the list this year. My wife called me, I was in the garden, we're so excited. They're just so excited to show LA what they have to offer. So that made me very excited to go to the restaurant. I was like, oh, he's normal, he's really cool, and super excited to check it out and form my own opinion. So I went with my friend Nick, Trail of Gold, who's also doing Jonathan's 101 restaurants, and saved it for last. Wanted it to be the grand finale to my challenge. So on December 22nd, we did the dinner tasting menu. So we pull up and a valet greets you. They know you instantly. I drive up and I roll down my window and they say, hello, Miss Orr. You're the first person in your party. We're so happy to have you here. And you're like, wow, they know me already just because of the time that I pulled up. So that's crazy. They're like, come wait in the garden, and you're sitting in this beautiful Alice in Wonderland type of garden. There's cement benches that are heated. It was a chilly night, so the benches are heated themselves. They wrap you in blankets. They kept putting blankets on top of me. I was like, how did they know I love blankets? And this is just while you're waiting for your friend or your dining companion to join you. So they make you super comfortable. You're in the beautiful, you're looking at the stars, and Vespertine means related to evening, so it's perfect, all about the nighttime and just totally getting in the mood, stargazing. They have telescopes out there. It's just such a cool start to your night. You're just getting very excited, and the music is playing. Jonathan mentions the 4 notes droning on, but they're not droning in a bad way. It's more relaxing, you feel like you're at a spa or a getaway. Nick and I were saying that, it wasn't a negative noise. It was very much a relaxing dining experience. We were saying they should have massages in the lobby for after dinner. We didn't opt for the wine pairing, but we would opt for a dinner/massage pairing. So, just a note, Chef Jordan, if you're interested, there might be a market for some massages after your meal. But in all seriousness, so incredible. So this building, you might have seen pictures of it. It's insane. It doesn't look like any restaurant you've ever seen. And Chef Jordan's whole point and his whole team at Vespertine is to reimagine the dining experience. So this looks like a piece of art. It's literally a beautiful, beautiful structure. Just kind of rust colored, gorgeous, slats of this rust-colored metal. The architect is Eric Owen Moss, and he's very famous in LA for his architecture. This restaurant is in Culver City, by the way, and it wasn't designed to be a restaurant, but Chef Jordan saw them constructing the building and he thought, I have to have this for my restaurant. And he had this vision, he had this idea, so he approached the architect and he said, look, I want to make this into my restaurant, here's my idea. And they made this whole experience. It's not like, this isn't just a meal, it's not just dinner, this is culinary art. This is a whole multi-sensory experience. You're going outside, you're going inside, you're going on the roof, you're traveling through different levels of the building. There's windows, there's parts that are blocked by, you know, window curtain things. There's, it's just, you have to experience it for yourself, but just know going into it that it's not, you're not just going for a dinner. I mean, obviously the food is a huge part of the meal, it's a huge component, but there's so many other art forms that are also contributing, different art pieces around the restaurant, the pottery, the dishes, everything, you know, the glasses, the silverware, this is all, it's all art, and it's all just coming together to form this beautiful dining experience. So as you can see, I'm pretty much raving. I loved it. So let me just, like, it's just so awesome to see a restaurant like this existing in Los Angeles, because there's nothing like this here. Like, we have some amazing, fantastic restaurants with chefs pushing boundaries, doing amazing things in the kitchen with flavors, beautiful spaces, beautiful architecture, but this is the most, I think, boundary pushing restaurant that has existed in Southern California thus far. Like, it felt like I was in Europe going to one of the world's best restaurants. It really felt like it's a game changer, and it's just so exciting to be a part of this culinary movement in LA and to see the potential for what's about to happen here, and just watch these chefs push each other creatively, and just so exciting. Definitely one of the best meals of my life, in addition to being my favorite on the 101 list, Jonathan's favorite, #1, but in the top 3 meals of my life as well. So good. So let's talk about the food. So anyway, so you start, I'll just walk through the whole experience. So after my friend Nick arrives, he meets me in the courtyard. They take us inside in the lobby, beautiful space, and they put us in the elevator, they push the button for us, and we're like, what's happening? You know, where are we gonna go? The elevator opens up into the beautifully stunning kitchen. Who's waiting on the other side? Chef Jordan. Oh, like, fangirl right here. He's the coolest. So he is waiting on the other side of the elevator doors. He greets us by name. He says, hello, Nick, you know, hello, Kaitlin, great to see you again. He remembered me from the event, but, you know, I'm sure that there's this attention to detail with each guest who comes, because it's such a small experience. They can't, you know, have too many diners a night, so they really, like, take the time to get to know you and make you feel like you're part of this artwork. So he asks, you know, again, if we have any dietary restrictions. No. If there's anything we don't like to eat. He talks a little bit about the restaurant, about the art, about the architecture of the building. He tells me everything that I've just told you. He shows us the kitchen. It's so beautiful, just so cool that every meal starts with this. Like, you don't always get to see the kitchen at higher end dining institutions like this, but it's just, that's where you start, and you see this is where it is, this is what it's gonna be like, these are the people working, look at what they're creating. So awesome. So he says goodbye, he says we'll see you later. We walk up the stairs, and then we're on the roof, and it's like indoor outdoor experience. It's an open air roof, but it's part of the building. I'm sure there must be a roof that closes, but it was open the night we were there. It wasn't raining or anything like that, so we were just able to dine under the stars. And this is where you have your first small bites, and Chef Jordan actually comes and is talking to you. He gives you a welcome drink, and he's serving you some of the first bites on the roof. So he walks up to the table again, and, you know, we're so excited, and he says, okay, the first bites are actually already on the table in front of you. And we look down, and what we thought was like a centerpiece of plants apparently is edible. So that's where we begin, and then we start with some it's giant kelp and sea lettuce. So he's like, break off pieces of that. There's like Grinch fingers. I don't know if that's the technical name or what they just look like, but we're eating the plants that are on the table, and you're like, this is how it's gonna be. Like, it's just always surprising and exciting. Nothing's stale, you know, it's all brand new ideas. So you're eating the plants. Then they bring out the first snack, which is burnt onion and black currant, and these are like these flavors are more just to awake your palate than they are to please your palate. So this burnt onion and black currant, it's a very tart black currant flavor, and then the burnt onion is obviously very strong as well. So they tasted interesting, but it's more just like to get your palate ready to go. So that was interesting. Then they bring out this squash with rosehip oil and preserved apricot, and these dishes are just insane because like it looks like it's a ceramic. You would never guess it. Like, it's not a plate. You wouldn't look at it and think, how could I serve food on this? It's like little pieces of squash behind like sunflowers in this small little like crevice of a ceramic. Just like so artistic. Then we had milk bread and king trumpet mushrooms. That was beautiful. Then we had snap peas and kiwi. And so then you're moving into, the snap peas and kiwi were in the dining room. So after we had the first couple of bites and our drinks, they moved us downstairs. So you walk down a flight of stairs and then you're seated in the dining room that has no right angles. It's all very harmonious. And so the snap peas and kiwis were our first dish there, and it looks like a galaxy. Like, this doesn't look like food. And that's part of what Jonathan was saying in his review as well, is you wouldn't even like recognize it as food, like most of the dishes. Just so the way they break it down and create this piece of art, I couldn't get enough. So this was yeah, just one of the more stunning dishes. It just looks like a planet in there. So you break into it. It's like frozen snap pea, kiwi, delicious. Then the next dish was rice pudding with trout roe, and it had sunflowers on it. This was one of my favorites from the whole evening. I was like scraping the bowl. So good, just so savory. I love sunflowers. It's my favorite flower, so it's so beautiful. Of course, all the waiters are walking around in their trench coats, their matching uniforms and like slippers, so they're silent. It just feels like a spa, but they're so knowledgeable and passionate about the food too. We were asking them questions about it. So the rice pudding and trout was one of my favorites. Then we had a scallop and bone marrow dish, and this was stunning. Like that bowl, and there's like little dots of the bone marrow in there, and then little scallops around it. Just like such a gorgeous dish. This one wasn't my favorite flavor-wise, but I loved the presentation, and they poured something in there. It was just beautiful. Then we had red spinach with spot prawn and quince. So this one was crazy because it's in this like black hole of a ceramic, all these art pieces, and you can't see what you're eating. And you know, they encourage you not to shine a light and see, but just to eat what, you know, more with your, you know, with your fingers and with your taste buds, obviously, and less with your eyes, and just get into it that way. So that was kind of cool to just not even know and just trust that it was going to be delicious, and it was delicious. So you're just like along for the ride here. You're just trusting Chef Jordan. He's going to take you on this journey, and you're just signing on to the experience. Next we had crab with egg yolk and allspice butter. That was really tasty. And then we had Narragansett turkey with yarrow. I think that's how you pronounce that. And that was really cool. They like poured it over, they cut it open. That one was the one that Jonathan said is the only one you can really recognize as food. We all know turkey, but that was a really delicious turkey. Just really creative. I think they said that the yarrow, which is like the herbs, was illegally foraged. So he's kind of reckless, kind of wild. They have a garden too, where they get a lot of their ingredients, but then they forage for other local ingredients as well. So after the turkey, we had turbot with black trumpet and strawberry. Really tasty. And then smoked lamb and cow's cheese. This one was really interesting. Just like the lamb was almost sweet. There was like berry flavor in there. Really the most unique way I've eaten lamb before. Really tasty. And then we had sea urchin with lemongrass. This one, I don't always love sea urchin, but this was a really interesting take as well. And of course, all these dishes are seasonal, so this was just our tasting menu that night, and it changes every season. Then we moved on to dessert. One of my favorites was the black raspberry and buckwheat. And like, just look at this crazy presentation. So it's like a mousse around the bowl. It's like been painted on. The raspberry has been painted onto the bowl, and then the buckwheat are those strands standing up, and it's all edible. So you're literally scraping the side of the bowl, and it's kind of like marshmallowy, fluffy consistency, but tastes like black raspberry. This was so good. I was literally getting everything I could off the bowl. Like, such a beautiful presentation, but my only complaint was like, I want it like in my mouth now. I was an impatient eater with this dish because you had to work for every bite. That was fantastic. Then the next one was almond and cucumber. That was really tasty as well. And then blackberry, cashew, opal, and basil. These were just all just so beautiful, all these presentations, and just the flavors just blew your mind. They're just unlike anything you've ever tasted before. And then finally you're ending in the courtyard back again, and you have some tea and blankets, and they're burning incense, and then you have barhi date and oxalis as your final snacks for the evening. Just wow, this restaurant absolutely blew my mind. And like, yes, it's an expensive tasting menu in LA, but I think that easily you could spend this much money at a restaurant in LA and have, you know, a far inferior dining experience. Like, it's easy to spend money in LA. So if you're gonna have a special occasion spot and you're a culinary lover, this place isn't for everyone. Definitely, like, I wouldn't bring my grandparents here. I don't think they would really understand, you know, it as an art form. So definitely for culinary lovers who are just looking for their minds to be blown, like their taste buds to be challenged, and their perception of food and the dining experience as a whole to change. This is the place for you if you want one of the most creative chefs, one of the most talented chefs, doing something completely different in the food scene and the world. I mean, I don't know, I haven't been to every best restaurant in the world, obviously, I would love to, but just the way that he incorporates the space, the art, just next level, an incredible meal, my favorite meal in Los Angeles. And the food was good, like the food was so good. It wasn't just beautiful, it was so delicious. I couldn't rave about this restaurant anymore. I wish I could go back every season and try the new menus. Unfortunately, that's a little out of my budget, but you know, I definitely want to go back as soon as I can, and just so awesome. I can't say thank you enough to Chef Jordan for what he and his team are doing here in LA at Vespertine. So number 1 on Jonathan's list, number 101 on mine. The challenge is complete. It's surreal that it's over. Yeah, I can't even process how much this challenge meant to me. I can't thank Jonathan enough for his reviews, his inspiration, what he taught me about LA. I'm gonna do a full recap video of some of my favorite dishes overall and just everything about this challenge because it's too much, there's too much. And anyway, this was Vespertine. I really hope you give it a chance and check it out because I loved it, and I hope that you will too. But always see more pictures on Instagram at Carnivorr. Carnivorr goes for gold. And thank you for watching. Give this a thumbs up, comment if you have anything to say, and thanks for staying tuned to the Carnivorr Goes for Gold challenge. Can't believe we completed it, and so excited for future lists, for the future of LA dining, and to see what happens. So thank you, and stay tuned for more restaurant reviews and a full recap of this challenge. So that's coming next. Thanks for watching. Bye.